Hi everyone, today I want to talk about another Taskwarrior feature, reminders. This video is part of a Taskwarrior video series. If you haven't seen the previous ones, this all should be on a playlist. So here you can see introduction video where I showed how Taskwarrior works and what it can do. Then we looked at NeoVim integration, which is like integrating developer style to-dos. And today we are going to look at reminders and follow-ups. So when you have tasks, you often want to integrate it with reminders, and follow-up is just another version of reminder. There's a few more videos in the pipeline, so let's start. So first, what we need is obviously Taskwarrior, and the goal for today would be to show you how you can use existing tools and essentially have a non-intrusive reminders. Now, the tools that I'm showing are Linux specific, especially the tool called Zenity that I'm using to display the dialogues, but this is easily swappable if you're on different systems. Cron is available on all the systems, including WSL and Windows, although there it has to be activated. So if you want to follow up with the settings that I have, this works on Pop! OS or any other Ubuntu distro, or generally would work also on Linux. A few prerequisites we need. I am usually using Tmax to integrate and automate all kinds of scripts. So my scripts have this assumption that Tmax exists. You don't have to use it, of course. Taskwarrior TUI is a TUI written in Rust that displays all your tasks and lets you interact with them. It's optional, but I really like it. And of course, Cron, which is available in all the systems. So let's first make a quick refresher about Cron itself. So Cron is essentially a time service scheduler. So you as a user here at the bottom would enter cron tab, so essentially open your file that enables you to trigger any command based on time schedule. This would be written into a file. It would, of course, check permissions, cron deny list, and so on. It can be configured in many ways. And then the cron daemon would read the file and then schedule the job execution based on the time that you have created. And this command can be anything. In my case, you will see those are bash scripts, but those can be any other script, anything that is executable. And by design, historically, Cron would actually use mail daemon to email the result of the cron job to a user on the Linux system. But now we are using those systems differently. So very often you want to redirect the output of the script or command to logs if you want to capture it. So that's Cron in a nutshell. A little bit about scheduling time. Cron has this its own little DSL language for scheduling commands based on time. So you have here the first one is minute, hour, and so on. Here is a nice web page where you can easier generate those kind of a little bit cryptic cron settings. You can repeat a command every day, every minute, every week, or run this one time, and so on and so forth. So we have a few commands. Cron tab -e would edit your own cron tab. You can also edit another user's cron tab if you have privileges. Very simple. Just type man cron tab and you will see all the commands. All right, so with this small introduction, let's switch to a demo and see how those things look like from the Taskwarrior perspective. So here we have a few tasks displayed in Taskwarrior TUI, and you can see right here on this task that's highlighted currently, we have this follow, and follow is a so-called user-defined attribute. This is something I defined, and Taskwarrior will display it, and then I can attach functionality to this user-defined attribute. So any task that has this follow would essentially end up in a cron reminder that triggers every day at 4 p.m. So this is how I set it up. Every time at 4 p.m. I would have a Zenity dialog reminding me that those tasks need to be followed up on. So that's very like a nice non-intrusive reminder. Another way of reminding is so-called due days. So you can see this task, first one, has a due date or due time -1 hour. Let's modify it to be within an hour. So I'm going to say modify due, and we'll say now plus maybe 30 minutes. So now we have 29 minutes. So the way I have set it up internally is that Cron checks every 4 minutes whether we have any due tasks that are falling within the specific hour. So every 4 minutes, we have essentially a trigger, and the cron tab checks, are there any tasks that are meant to be done within the next hour? So this is like a reminder for me to, okay, so within the next hour, I will have some tasks, and I can go into Taskwarrior TUI and check when those tasks are exactly. This of course can be configured, doesn't have to be an hour. It can be less, maybe 15 minutes. So there are various ways how we can configure cron. So this is going to happen within the next few minutes. The cron job will trigger and you will see the Zenity reminder. So this is the Taskwarrior setup. Now let's swap back to the demo and see how this works. So we have a cron daemon here, and the cron triggers a specific script, as I mentioned, every 4 minutes, and then checks those tasks that are due within the next hour. There is another script, follow-up, and this triggers every day at 4 p.m. And then when there are tasks that are marked as follow-up, it's going to show another Zenity dialog. So how does the cron setting look like? So here is the cron setting for the follow-up. You can see it triggers every day at 4 p.m. in my time zone, and it triggers this script. We're going to see the script in a second. Another one is for the reminders. This is the notification for the due time, and this triggers every 4 minutes. You can see that here I'm also outputting some logs that it's also possible to be done from cron. Okay, so let's look at the scripts themselves. So first of all, this is again Linux specific, and more specifically it's X11 display mode. So it doesn't support Wayland. You have to, this is specifically to X11. And here, by the way, you see that we have this task due to next hour. So we have the fixed memory leak. So let's go back and switch it off so we don't have all the reminders. So I'm going to go to this follow, modify, and then the follow n. And you can see we have this follow n, and the tasks are not going to the follow. And also let's remove this due. So due like that, and now there's no due task. So we're not going to have this notification. So this first part is important. Export display. This actually enables background script to communicate with the X server. And without this variable, the script wouldn't have necessary permissions to communicate and, in this case, interact with the X server. So the way we are getting list of tasks is super easy. We are just executing the Taskwarrior command line, and we are saying, show me all the IDs of the tasks that have the follow user-defined attribute that is set to value y. So self-explanatory. And if there are some tasks within this list, we essentially send this very simple Zenity information saying you have follow-up tasks to complete. So we need to switch back to Taskwarrior session running in my Tmax, and then I can see all the tasks with y. All right, The next script is a little bit more involving. So this is the reminder. And this is just more involving because we need to wrangle a little bit of dates, which is a bit confusing in Bash. But again, we have the same export display one. Then we are getting current date. Then we are assigning a value of current date plus 1 hour. So we'll have this 1 hour scope. And then we are checking all the tasks for today. So again, we are using Taskwarrior CLI to check all the tasks due today. If we have any tasks due today, we essentially are checking if the task due date is greater than now, and we are checking if the task due is less than 1 hour. So we are essentially creating this window for us to say, give me all the tasks that are due within next hour. And the Zenity dialog here that pops up, as you've seen earlier, shows us this message, you have tasks due, and then displays the tasks due soon IDs and also descriptions. So that's it. That's a very simple way of using open source tools and existing tools that you already have and you might be familiar with a little bit of scripting, and you can have very nice reminders. Again, Zenity is Linux specific, but I'm sure there are equivalent projects on Windows and on Mac that you could use to display notifications. You can also integrate this with the notification bar, which I've had for a while, but I just like Zenity a little bit more. It's a bit more flexible. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. The next one is going to be about time tracking. So we have tasks that we need to do, and sometimes you need to know how long did it take you to execute a specific task, and then later you might want to have a report for time tracking. And this is a really powerful feature within Taskwarrior and a companion program called Warrior. So this is going to come up within the next video. Other than that, as always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.